Hello, welcome back. Today we're going to be doing something a little different. We're going to be making Ropa Vieja, which in Spanish means old clothes. I recently visited Gatlinburg, Tennessee, and there's a restaurant that my family and I like to go to there. And whenever we go there, it's always kind of a treat. It's always fun to do because it's kind of a destination place for us. And we've been there before, but it's a Cuban restaurant that's owned by a family. And one of the signature dishes there is Ropa Vieja, and it's definitely one of my favorite things to eat. I've never made Cuban before. I have some cookbooks and things like that. But we're going to make Ropa Vieja today, and we're going to make it, we're going to serve it with some black beans and rice and some fried plantains. Okay, just exactly the way I made it or had it at the restaurant. It's a relatively easy dish to make. It's not too difficult. There are a lot of variations to it. From what I understand, it's one of those dishes where it's basically like you're throwing what you got into a pot and letting it kind of simmer. So it's basically like a pot roast sort of. But anyway, we're going to make that today, and I'm going to try to get it as close as I can to what I had when I was on vacation with my family recently. It's an outstanding dish. Probably, like I said, one of my favorites. And you know, most of the things that I make here are French or American, and it's always kind of nice to kind of branch off and do other things. So we're going to start off. It takes about 2 hours to make. So it's not a quick dish, and not something you're going to throw in a pot real fast and just make it real fast. So we're going to start off with you can use skirt steak or flank steak. I'm going to use what I got here was just beef chuck arm steaks, thin cut. I don't really think it matters too much. Obviously, you want to try to go with some of the cheaper steaks. First thing I'm going to do is I've got my pot here. I've got it kind of warmed up, not too hot. I don't want to get too hot. I'm going to throw the steak in last, but we're going to let it simmer. I've got an onion here that's halved from something that my wife did the other night. So I'm going to go ahead and start by just simply cutting this onion in half. Right, it says half on the recipe, although you can actually know that. We're going to go ahead and crunch up a clove of garlic, and we'll get that in there. So we've used a half of an onion and a half, or like I need to have gloves on if I'm going to be messing with garlic. I'm going to go ahead and throw 2 in. Because these are kind of small. And whenever you're taking the skin off of garlic, whenever you can press it down up against the board, it takes that skin off. Obviously, we're not going to run a video for 2 hours, so we'll take little breaks here. As soon as I get this garlic peeled, get this thrown in there, and then we're going to cut up the steak. Obviously, steak is raw meat, so you definitely want to try to do that last. Off the board. And we're going to cut this in half. So far we've got garlic, we've got a little bit of onion. Here's my skirt steak. Normally I would have gloves on here. I forgot to bring my gloves. It's not a big deal. Alright, so we got your skirt steaks here, very thinly sliced. I'm going to cut these in little small strips. All right, small strips. Actually, hear the sizzling. So it doesn't really matter, just, it doesn't have to be pretty or anything like that. This is going to be kind of like a roast anyway. It's going to, whenever it's done, it's going to shred. So it's going to have that, shred effect to it. Like I said, normally would have the gloves on right now, but I forgot them. They're somewhere. I'll make sure I clean the board and change out board knives, all that good stuff. All right, so now what I'm going to do, now that I've got everything in the pot, all right, you can see it's kind of sizzling. I'm going to go ahead and fill it up just enough to cover the meat. All right, so I'm going to put some water in it. put this on here. I'm going to turn it all the way up. And I'm going to let it sit there for about an hour and a half. So I'm going to push pause, and we're going to come back in about an hour and a half, and we'll see where we are. See you back.